Hey, fifth grade. Today, for our Thursday assignment, what we're going to do is walk through some of the introductory information about latitude and longitude. Over the last couple of days, we've been talking about hemispheres, we've been talking about continents and different things of that nature. And that's getting us toward what we're going to talk about right now, which is at least the intro of latitude and longitude. Okay. To start, I have a whole world map here, real quick, just to kind of give you guys a sense of what latitude longitude is going to look like. I know that some of y'all have done it before in other grades or other like science class, things of that nature, but we're just going to get another, for some people, kind of refresher on it, and for others, it's going to be an intro to what it actually is. Okay. If you know anything about latitude and longitude, you know that it has to deal with this grid system. So you've got obviously all kinds of lines going across, and you have a lot of lines going from top to bottom. Those are obviously going to be set up for your latitude and longitude coordinates, which for those that know is like two sets of numbers, or at least a set of numbers. But we're going to talk about that here in a second. Okay. Real quick, if you notice, you have your equator here, and you have your prime meridian, which is unlabeled and unlined right here, just so they can save space. But what latitude and longitude essentially does is it gives you either a north or a south coordinate first. So you figure out if you're on the top half, or you figure out if you're on the bottom half first. And then it's going to give you an east or a west coordinate, which is where you kind of pinpoint, am I on this side now, or am I on this side? So essentially, if you were given a number like 35 north, you know that you'd be somewhere along the 35 line, which is not there currently. But then you'd be given another number, like let's say 105 west. So then you would end up following this line, and you would end up like right in the United States of America. Okay. Essentially speaking, what you're going to have going on here for today is we're just going to build a model for what's going on in the notebook. Okay, so this is more what we're dealing with today. And I'm going to get myself kind of out of the way over here. All right, so in your notebook, what you're going to need is a full sheet of paper. And what we want to do is we want to draw one circle just like this on the top half, and then another looking exactly like it on the bottom half. I don't care if you use your notebook page forward, or sorry, sideways or top to bottom. So you can have a circle like this over here and a big circle on the left or right of it, or you can have a circle like this on the top and a circle that matches it on the bottom. But for now, we're only going to start with the one circle. Okay, and we're going to add a few lines to this circle. So to start, here's what I'm going to add. Okay, I'm going to take that circle and I'm going to add to it. Sorry, I got to get my little highlighter here. I'm going to add to it the equator. Okay, so I'm just going to use this highlight color. Actually, I'm going to do red so it stands out. And then I'm just going to put it over here. Okay, so mine's going to straighten out here. There we go. So for you all on your circle, if you want to use red, it might be a better idea. If you want to just use black pen or pencil, that's fine. But essentially, we have our equator started right here. Okay. What I'm also going to go ahead and add to it, now I'm going to use black. We just want to add a few of these latitude lines. So I'm just going to probably add like 3 or 4 lines, and I'm not even really being equal here. I'm just doing a couple at a time. Okay. So you just add a few lines, however you want to do it. Whoops, that one's pretty bad. Okay. We'll add maybe 1 or 2 more here, and then we'll be good. Okay. Yikes. I'm going to add them to the bottom too. There we go. Okay, so you see what you're doing here, and we're going to just kind of make this happen. Okay, I'm going kind of fast here just because I want to get it out of the way and not just be drawing lines the whole time, but you guys get the concept. Okay, so with these are all your latitude lines, okay, as long as for our maps purposes. So essentially what we have here so far is this number 1 tip right here. Okay, so if we want, here, let's see, put a little box around that to show that we did this one. Okay, and we'll make it purple. All right. Whoops, there we go. Okay, so basically what we have here is we've done this first part. Okay, we have our equator, and we have put the latitude lines on it, and that's to remind you that the latitude lines are the flat ones. Okay. So with this circle that we've created already, I want you to also add the number one tip right here. Okay, I want you to add the number one tip, which is lat equals flat. So that will remind you next to this circle, somewhere in space over here, maybe above it, wherever, that the latitude ones are the flat ones. Okay. Number two is talking about the coordinates themselves. Okay. And with these coordinates themselves, if you've ever seen them before, they're pretty straightforward. Okay. But I'm going to get this out of the way, and I'm just going to type one right here where it would be, let's say, 50 degrees north and let's say 85 degrees, let's say west. Okay. These are what the coordinates look like, right? So when you get something like this, when you get a set of coordinates, you have a north or a south number first. And in this case, it's 50 north. So what you would do, like this tip is saying right here, is you would start at the equator, the 0 line, and you would count over on the side here until you got to around 50 north. Sometimes they go by 30s, so you'd have like 0, 30, 60. So you'd have to kind of estimate. But in this case, let's just say you had it by 25s, and it'd be 25 north, 50 north, something to that effect. Okay. But you do the up or the down first. This coordinate comes first. So here's what we're going to do. Same deal. Okay, we're going to add the box again to make sure that we did it. I'm going to put it around all of number 2. Okay. And what we're also going to do on this is we're going to add some quick arrows here. Okay, I'm going to add like an arrow going up, which I'll change here in a second. And I'm going to add an arrow going down, which again, I'll change here in a second. Okay, so here's the arrow up, and here is going to be the arrow pointing down. All right, now, the reason that I did this is because this will represent your number 2. You're starting at the equator, and then you're up or you're down being first. Okay. With that being said, we'll stop right here at this point because I'm going to do another one for y'all here in a while that deals with longitude, and we're going to kind of erase this whole thing, and we're going to make a whole other circle that's going to represent number 3 and number 4. Okay. So just hang tight for the second one, or make sure you guys watch the second one because that's going to set up the longitude. All right.